And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. It is July 13th. It's Sunday. Yes, it's a different day than usual because we had a conflict of schedule yesterday, as you may say. We actually participated in a charity golf tournament for a good cause here in Montreal with the Montreal Scottish Association. It was a lot of fun. A terrible golf game from my side, but still a lot of fun. Well, I'm greeting you, as you may know, from Montreal. I may have given it away already, and my name is Daniel. And before we get into it, let me ask you guys, where are you calling in from today? So I'm calling in from steaming hot Montreal. I know Canada doesn't usually have the reputation of being hot and humid. Today it's both hot and very humid. And worst of all, our air conditioning is still not working in our office. So if you see the sweat running down my face, that's the reason. All right. So where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have today? We have Lenny. Lenny from, I believe, New York City. Hey, Lenny. Nice to see you. Who else do we have? Moderately hot New York City. Yes. Andrea from Hamburg. Hi, Andrea. Wie geht's? Arthur, also from rainy Hamburg. Huh? Two users from Hamburg today. Very nice. Aubrey from Cyprus. Yes. Lovely, cool breeze. No air conditioning required. Really? I find this hard to believe. I was in Cyprus 3 weeks ago. It was so hot. Oh my God. Oh, and Steffen from Hamburg. Wow. Hamburg seems to be becoming our new second headquarter here. That's really cool. So hey there to everyone in Hamburg. Stephanie from Gatineau, right near Montreal, in fact, near Ottawa. So about maybe 200 kilometers away from where we are. Hey, Stephanie. Edda from North Cyprus. Oh, Cyprus. Maybe we should meet up with Aubrey, Edda, while you're there. North Cyprus. Where's that? Is that Nicosia, perhaps? Not sure. Maybe we can share your exact location with us. Frank from Den Haag. Hey, Frank, how's it going? Christian from Hamburg. Wow. More people from Hamburg, I think. Kelly from the Keith from the Scottish borders. 30 degrees. Wow, this must be also exceptionally hot for this kind of region. Wow. Hey, Keith, how are you? And yes, Andrea said, thanks for your time today. Yes, of course, you're welcome. Ellen from Southwest Florida. Wow, that I believe is very hot as well. And Ella says she's from Lapta in Cyprus. No idea where this is, but I take you by your word, northern Cyprus. And Werner from Frankfurt. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing your location. Let's get into it. So once again today, we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week ahead. So just as a rule of thumb, swing trading typically means 2 to 20 weeks. So we're not going to be looking for day trades. Markets are closed today anyways, and we won't be looking for long-term investments. Swing trades typically 2 to 20 weeks. We also call this the 30 minutes Sunday strategy. So let's see if we can find the most interesting setups in just 13 minutes today. And the whole idea is that you will learn how to use our dashboard, how to use our Liquidity View scanner to find interesting setups really fast, because our time is precious. It's our most precious resource, so why waste time with tedious groundwork? Our dashboard can do most of that for you. And if you don't know us yet, two things. First off, of course, this session is being recorded, and the recording will be posted onto our YouTube page shortly afterwards. And if you don't know us yet, we are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel here on the left-hand side. And about 10 years ago, we have created trading indicators from the ground up here, together with Homer here in the middle, and also Nicholas has joined us shortly afterwards. And our bread and butter is really, or has been for the longest time, the creation and the development of innovative trading indicators. We've done this for many, many years for all kinds of platforms, for all kinds of clients all over the world. And if you would enumerate every single indicator that we've written, we would have built over 1,000 trading indicators. But we also do other things. For example, we create trading scanners. And one such trading scanner we will be using today in today's live scanning session. And just one last thing, if you have any questions or symbol requests, please don't hold back. The more the merrier. Put your questions into the Q&A box, and Niklas will keep an eye out of them and will bring those to my attention as we proceed through this presentation. I also need to remind you that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and setups and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right. Now, before we get to the scanning process, a quick reminder and an announcement that next week I will be presenting at the Wealth 365 conference. Registration is absolutely free. It's a full week event starting on Monday all the way till Friday. It's fully packed. Lots of speakers will be there. And I recommend that you just check it out. As I said, registration is completely free, and all you need to do is to go to tradingindicators.com/wealth. And Niklas, please put this link also into the chat box. So tradingindicators.com/wealth to see me and others speak at Wealth 365 next week. All right. A couple of other things. First off, we have our bootcamp available for the Liquidity View dashboard at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. And the reason why I keep repeating this, and this link will also be in the chat, the reason why I keep repeating this is because in these scanning sessions, we are really only touching the surface of what is possible with the dashboard. If you want to learn about all the features available, check out our bootcamp. We also have a Discord channel, and I'm so happy that it's getting more active again. I guess it slowed down a little bit in the summer. And I'm also really happy that we have recommendations in our Discord channel, how to improve it, how to create new subsections and so forth. So one recommendation, for example, that came in was about auto trading and trading with the Motivate Strategy Builder. Well, we're probably going to create a subsection just on this. And we may even create a subsection for our scanning process for Liquidity View as well. So check out Discord at tradingindicators.com/Discord. Also, it's probably easiest if you follow along interactively today with our scanning process, because the whole idea is that you will see or follow or understand our process of how we find interesting symbols, and that you will be able to replicate on your own. So that would be best. So if you haven't signed up for our dashboard yet, you can do it right now. And you can sign up for a full week free trial at tradingindicators.com/view. It's completely free, no strings attached, as we say, and it's a great opportunity to check it out and follow us along. And best of all, you will get access instantaneously. This will take about 1 minute to create your account. We've also written an ebook about the 3 setups that we will be using today. We call it the Power of 3. This ebook is available at tradingindicators.com/power of 3. This link will also be in the chat. And last but not least, if you have any recommendations, symbol requests, and similar things, please don't be shy. Put those into the chat or send us an email. This is what drives our further development. We always want to improve our dashboard. We have a lot of great ideas. One thing that, in fact, will be coming to the dashboard very shortly is an indication how the stock compares to its sector. Let's say NVIDIA is in the tech sector. Well, maybe we can correlate these two. See, hey, the tech sector is going up and NVIDIA has an interesting setup. Maybe it's going to get a sector boost. So this is going to be coming to our dashboard very shortly, perhaps in the next 1 or 2 weeks for this. And I have to say thank you for Aubrey in Cyprus. We had a nice talk when I was over there. He recommended adding such a scan to our dashboard. So if you have any ideas, please don't hold back. Put those into the Q&A box. All right, now let's get started now with our market review. All right, so I'm going to switch over to our dashboard. If I can find it, there we go. And let's start with the SPY. What's happening with the global indices? Well, business as usual pretty much. We are still on a tear. I was worried last week that, hey, we may see a correction towards our broken resistance that we can see it here. Prices broke above resistance, then retraced a little bit, but then back on the wagon right afterwards. And now we are trading once again a bit further away from our resistance level. Having this said, I do believe that a correction is overdue. Look at Trend Radar here. It's been quite a while since the last correction here, at least to level 1 or level 2. How many trading days has this been? So the last one was on June 20th. That's almost a month ago. So I think a correction is overdue. Hopefully it's not going to be as big as this one, but I do think we're going to come down eventually to this broken resistance level. And I'm going to be waiting for this and then enter in the long direction. So that's a bit of my game plan when it comes to the SPY. All right. So here, I think correction, yeah, look out for this. I would not go long now. I think we are really overextended, far away from our moving averages, moving away also from our broken resistance level. And if you're familiar with our zone break retrace setup, you know that after a zone break, oftentimes the market tries to fake you out and comes down back to the broken resistance level, which will then act as support. And then things really accelerate from that point on. All right, so that was the SPY. It's very similar with the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF. There it is. Also here we can see we did break above resistance. Also here, it's been quite a while since our last pullback. Trend radar is green, 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 green. And if you look at the patterns here, it's coming. Yeah, if history is any indication, you can see every once in a while we will see a bit of a pullback. So this one is probably coming next week or at the latest the week after. But who knows? Maybe not, but I have a feeling it will. And we may see a move further down, at least to the broken resistance level here, which once again could be a nice launchpad for prices to accelerate to the upside. But getting long now, to me, a bit too risky. We may see a pullback. What about the IWM, the Russell? We haven't talked about the Russell for quite a while, but I'm happy to rediscuss it because something interesting is happening here. First off, the Russell is still quite far away from its all-time highs. And in fact, this was not even the all-time high here back in November 2024. The all-time highs happened much, much longer ago. Let me just quickly find where that was. Yeah, it was down here. Back in 2021, we had all-time highs in the Russell and we're still nowhere near yet. So a bit of a different price structure in the Russell. But what I find interesting here is that we are approaching a key resistance level. You can see it here. Prices are coming up to this resistance level. And it will be interesting to see how prices will react once we get a bit closer. Will we see a pullback or a bounce off this level as we could see it here? Perhaps even a liquidity capture, which could be extra confirmation that we may be bouncing off this level. Well, this remains to be seen. So interesting times here for the Russell. It also recovered sharply from this big correction in the market after the tariffs have been announced. Yeah, quick recovery, not as fast, not as much as the SPY and QQQ, but nonetheless a big recovery. But now we are approaching resistance here in the Russell. All right, what about gold? Gold, we had, or GLD, we had as our trade of the week. When was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago? I believe so, 2 weeks ago. And we said, all right, and in fact, we pointed it out in our scanning session on the weekend, is that gold at that time pulled back all the way to this green line of MA Rush. So this line here, let me just hide the other indicator. This first line, so enabling MA Rush, and I'm talking about this green line here. So prices had pulled back to this level, and we said, hey, maybe this could be a great opportunity to enter along here, take any long position in the expectation that we will bounce off this dynamic support level and move higher. So this move is finally happening. We went up fairly quickly, then retraced back once again to this line, and now we're back on the bicycle, as the option professor would say, and prices are trading higher. I personally bought some call options down here, and I will be looking to close down that position should we next week or in 2 weeks approach this resistance level, perhaps around 315, 314. I'll be looking to close these ones out. Why? Because at that point, we will be hitting resistance here. Prices may bounce off from this level once again, and I don't want to give away my profits. Now, gold is working out nicely. What about oil? USO, the United States Oil Fund, is an ETF that we typically use for that purpose to analyze oil. And we can see it here. It's been treating us really nicely, this setup, as it's been trading in a sideways pattern for many, many years. And every time oil had approached one of the extremes, either to the downside or the upside, we saw a sizable bounce off that level towards the middle, in between support and resistance. And exactly this happened as well here. A couple of weeks ago, we bounced off these 83 resistance level all the way towards the middle, in between support and resistance. Big gap down. This gap was now closed, and we are facing resistance. And it's going to be interesting to see how price will react to this resistance level. Will we see a bounce off this level? Just be aware, this is just an intermediate resistance level. It's not the key one all the way up there, which I really have my eye on. It's an intermediate level, but still it's going to be interesting to see how prices will react to this level. And I could imagine, yes, we may see a bounce off this level towards lower price levels, especially if we get a liquidity capture, an event like this with the shaded lines. If not, well, then it will be interesting to see if we once again can get up to the 83 level, and which could be another great opportunity to enter short in this sideways pattern here of USO. All right, what else do we have? We had gold, we had USO. Oh, yes, of course, the big news of last week. I almost forget. Bitcoin. Well, it has finally happened. Bitcoin has finally broken above resistance. Hallelujah. It took a long time. I said it many times, if you remember, that it was, to me, only a question of when, not a question of if. And we also said that if we see this break above, then we're going to see some acceleration to the bullish side, because then we have clear skies ahead. Well, this is exactly what we saw now. Prices finally broke above this key resistance level. You can see this green line here and the other little green line above, very close to each other. We failed here, bounced off. Failed here, failed here, failed here a little bit, and then finally we broke above this level. Wow, it took many attempts, but finally it happened. And my analogy was, you use an ice pick, use it on a frozen pond, and eventually that ice is going to get thinner and thinner, and it's going to break. And this is exactly what happened right now with this resistance level. So now the big question is, what's going to happen next? What can we expect now next? Well, I do think prices will potentially consolidate a little bit. It was a really decisive move and perhaps retrace even down to this level. But I think overall, this level is now cleared. If we see a bit of a retracement, perhaps down to 114,000, this could be a nice launch pad for another leg higher up. So very bullish in Bitcoin. All right, so this was my market review. Niklas, do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, we have a couple. Let me just scroll back up. Okay, so we have one question here from Lenny. Okay, he just says that he wants to talk one time or talk to somebody about learning to stretch positions past short-term triggers, maybe taking longer-term trades. We have a couple symbol requests for later.
Yep.
And from Dave, he says it'd be great to be able to filter the ATR so you can select stocks that have large relative moves.
Yeah, I'm going to take a note of that. That's, I think, the second time I'm hearing this. Maybe it was you again last week, Dave. But yes, ATR, we may add a column like this into our scanner. Good point. All right.
And Juan wants to know, does the website only work on the daily time frame?
So this dashboard is geared towards swing traders. The scanner will operate on the daily time frame or higher. The IQ chart here will work on the daily time frame or higher. The live chart here on the right-hand side, that one actually has real-time data for many symbols. You can see the little dot here. It's live data. You can even go to smaller time frames, but you cannot scan for those setups. This is an embedded trading view chart. We are subject to the limitations that come with that. We are using basically trading view data at this point, and this means we cannot scan for these setups, and we also cannot apply our own indicators onto that chart. But as a nice reference point to see where prices are right now in terms of live market action. For example, here we could immediately see that today's action for Bitcoin, after this little red bar, you can see this little retracement here in Bitcoin, this little red bar. Today we actually pushed higher again. We're trading right now at 118,000, almost 119,000. So yeah, but for the most part, it's a swing trading dashboard.
Thanks. And the last question, Ed wants to know, is volatility play a role in the stock chart? Maybe he means, does volatility play a role in the stock chart or the setup you're finding?
Yes, it does in a sense that, and we can discuss this when we look for this week's setups. It plays a role in the sense to where should we put our stop level? How much room should we give this trade? Because the more volatile a market is, the more room you need to give it. That's important. We can discuss this. And secondly, it plays also a big role as to how we want to play this setup. Do we want to buy outright stocks? Do we perhaps want to buy call options? Do we perhaps want to sell put options? So for these, all volatility plays a big role, because typically, if things are more volatile, especially in the options space, contracts are more expensive. So you want to buy a call option, I want volatility to be as little as possible because I want to buy low and sell high. And if I want to sell puts, it's quite the opposite. I want this contract to be as expensive as possible. So I want volatility to be high for that one. So that's kind of where it plays in.
Thanks, Daniel.
Perfect. All right. So now let's see what did we do last week? It's always nice to do a little bit of a retrospective. And by the way, guys, I forgot to mention this. I mentioned this in our Lunch and Learn session. We now have a feature in our dashboard where I can share a watch list with you. So you can see this little extra symbol here on the right-hand side, which is checked. It's a bit hard to see, but it is checked. You can take my word for it. This means that this watch list now has been shared with you from my side. So that's a feature which I only can use, but once it's shared, you actually can see it in your account. So what we're going to do from now on is I'm going to share the latest 3 setup watch lists with you. I'm going to keep those rolling over. So you're going to be seeing the latest 3, starting with the one from last week, from July 5th. So today we're going to add another watch list to this so that we can, you guys can see which symbols we picked, and you can follow along much easier that way. All right. So let's see what did we pick last week. And I'm going to do this real quick, just some of the highlights which we found. We had NewScale. NewScale had a very nice, I believe, zone break retrace setup at the time. Yeah, it came down to this level here. And let me just quickly put my annotations on. So yeah, break above resistance, came down here, and now we're trading higher. This we said if price come down to this little square here, this could be a nice long entry opportunity. Prices so far are working out nicely. Arthur J. Gallagher, that was a long bounce setup, meaning we were trading near resistance. We are still there, absolutely still there. So prices are still near this level. And here I warned, and we're going to get back to this one more time. Here I warned that we do have 2 support levels, one here and one down here, fairly close to each other. And oftentimes, when this is the case, it's often the lower one, which is the significant support level. So here, at the minimum, you want to put your stop below this level. I think I've suggested at 297, where this blue line is here. MMC, that was our trade of the week last week. Same scenario here. Look how tight together these 2 support levels are, one here and one here. And I said, perhaps you want to scale into this position. Just be aware that if you do, put your stop also below the second line here, which may be the significant one. And I would not be surprised to see prices actually come down towards this level. And then this perhaps would be the best a long entry opportunity for this stock. But both Arthur J. Gallagher and MMC, they're both actually in the same space, exactly the same space, insurance brokerage. They've been bullish for a long, long time. Republic Services, waste management, nice bounce here of support. You can see prices came down to support here. And in this case, it was different. Here, we did not have another support level nearby. The next one was all the way down here. To me, that's too far away. We had one here and a nice bounce off this level. So we're in good shape for RSG. That's actually also a stock which is in my portfolio right now to the long side for exactly the same reason here. Waste management, a stock in the exact same industry as well. So RSG and WM, both in the same industry. Similar here, but not as clean. Here, I think prices may come down all the way to this support level here. So I would not be surprised if we actually go down to this level a bit further, and then this could be a nice long opportunity. But if you are long RSG, I would not double down with going long WM as well. Range Resources, here we did have a nice bounce of support. It's working out nicely. Coca-Cola Consolidated. Similar story here, nice bounce of support and a bit of a retracement, but I think prices are, stabilizing right now. And I could imagine we may see another leg higher of this retracement. And then Post Holdings, what do we have here? Yeah, also a nice bounce. And, point in case, what I mentioned before, here we, and I believe I said this last week as well, we had one support level here and then another one here and another one here, very close by. And oftentimes it's the lower ones which are most significant. Yeah. So here we set it, I believe, stop loss below the lowest support level, not below the highest one. So we'll be somewhere around here. And this trade seems to be working out quite nicely as well. All right, so this was last week. Pretty good. So far, I'm happy with those calls. Let's see what calls or what setups we can find for this week moving forward. I'm going to quickly go to my slides. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at one setup at a time. based on what we see, we're going to create a hot list, which I will be sharing with you. And then we're going to go through the stocks in that hot list to see which are the most interesting ones for the week ahead. All right, so the first setup we're going to look at, and I'm going to skip the healthy pullback today. I decided not to scan for this because we have limited time. We're already halfway through the session. So we're going to start today with our bounce setup. A bounce setup happens if prices are coming down to a key support level. You can see it here, this red level, this red zone. That's support. Prices are coming down to support, and then we may expect a bounce to the upside. So how can we scan for those? Well, fairly easy. What we're going to do is, oops, I always keep exiting presentation mode. So I'm going to go back to our dashboard. I'm going to go to the end of day scanner up here. And now we're going to systematically scan for these setups. And today we will be using, first off, our liquidity IQ setup column here. And in there, once you click on it, you see multiple filters. And the first one says actually long bounce. So once we click on it, you can see of our 5,000 stocks, which we are tracking right now, 450 of them, a large number, are currently at a long bounce setup. And let me just show you some good ones and some bad ones to see which other filter we would like to apply to it. So let's go to this one here. Wisdom Tree Agriculture, one of the British stocks, in fact, that we have added. Oh, by the way, guys, quick detour. I forgot to say it. Would you guys like to see a little preview of what we're going to be releasing on Tuesday in our Lunch and Learn session? Hang on. 1 second. If you have 1 second, let me just do this right now, just to create a bit of excitement. Oops. 1 second. Just put this in here. This is our staging side, meaning our development side for the dashboard. And what you will see on Tuesday, we're just putting the final touches on it, but I think it's going to be really cool, is the following. I completely forgot about that. All right, so this is loading here. This is our staging side. It looks exactly the same, but this new feature, which will become available very shortly, probably Monday, is already implemented here. And this one is, come on, let's go. This server is a bit slower than our production server. That's why it takes a bit longer. So what we have in here are 2 new items. You can see it here. It's, in fact, let me just quickly disable this and this. It's these 2 ones. We actually will show you on which exchange a symbol is traded and what is the trading currency. And this actually goes back to a recommendation. I forgot who it was. If you're in the room today, maybe send us a quick note in the Q&A box to point out, hey, there's some symbols which are traded in different currencies, not just USD, what we typically look at, but it could be euro, it could be the British pound, or it could be pennies. And I believe one of the gold stocks we were looking at, gold mining, I think, which one was this one? 1 second, let me just go to this one here. iShares Physical Gold. This was one of the setups we pointed out a while back, and I said incorrectly at the time, oh my God, this stock is really, really expensive, trading at like 4,838 or whatever was the setup here when we called it. Really expensive. And somebody pointed out, hey, Daniel, this is actually not British pounds. This is in pennies. And that made me thought, this could be really useful information to have. So now you can see the currency here. When it says GB small p, it means this price is in pennies, in cents, and instead of in full pounds. So GB small p is pennies, and then you also have GB capital P. These would be stocks in full pounds. So this is something we're going to be adding, next week on Monday, most likely, to the production version of our dashboard. All right. So going back, sorry, I digress a little bit. I got excited. Going back to our scan. So we're going to scan for stocks near a key support level. And the one that came up was this one here, Wisdom Tree Agriculture, a stock in trade on the London Stock Exchange, .L. That's the tell for this. And if you look at this stock on our full screen mode here, we can see, hey, man, this one is bearish. This one has been going down in bigger waves, but it's been going down. And if stocks are bearish to begin with, I really don't like to trade the bounce setup to the upside, because then I would go against the overarching trend. Instead, what I would like to see is a stock which actually is bullish, like this one here. AGO, for example, is a stock which is bullish for 1,101 trading days. And if you look here, yeah, this stock, at least over time, has been going up. So this is a stock which I rather trade with alongside because I'm going with the overarching trend. So how can we find these stocks? Well, we simply filter by our MA Rush column here by using the bullish filter. And look, once I do this, we will be down from our 5,119 stocks down to only 81 stocks. Wow, that's significantly less. It's much more manageable. And then I do one more thing. I sort by trend duration. And the first one that comes up here actually is a German stock. I discussed this with our German in our German scanning session yesterday with CapTrader, German brokerage, that this could be a really nice entry opportunity to the long side. Yeah, long-term stock, bullish stock, which retraced down to this key support level, and this could be a nice launch pad for a bounce to higher levels. So telecommunication, German telecommunication is one of the stocks that could be of interest. The second one is this one here, Arthur J. Gallagher. Yeah, you remember it. We pointed it out a couple of times. Our outlook has not changed. Trading at key support, you can see it here. And I still believe this is a really nice stock to trade to the long side. So we're going to add this stock along with German telecommunication to our outlook for next week. So what we're going to do, I'm going to create a new watch list. I'm going to go here all the way down, create. I'm going to call this setups. Oops, setups, colon 2025, July 13. I'm going to create it. And we're going to add this one here. We do have a lot of German clients in the room, and also Arthur J. Gallagher to our mix. MMC, yeah, another stock that we had on our radar last week already. I think we are still very much in a great setup here, right next to the support level. But my outlook still remains the same. I think we may be bouncing off this level, the lower level here to the upside. So I would wait actually here for a pullback all the way to this level here around 207, and then be looking for longs for this particular stock. But nonetheless, I'm going to add it also to our setup. And perhaps one more, Aflac Incorporated. Also in the insurance space. I guess insurances have pulled back a bit as of late. But also this one, you can see it here very nicely. Bullish for 1,131 trading days. Yeah, pull back to this key support level. We have one more level down here, but I still believe that this could be an interesting price region to go long this stock. So also this one we're going to add to our watch list. All right, perfect. And maybe one more. Actually, let me skip post holdings. We had this one already, but I believe it came up a little bit already. So here this move might be already in progress. Still interesting though. We're going to skip this because it's very similar to the other ones. And let me go down perhaps to this one here. Fair ESA Corporation, bullish for 737 trading days. All right, and this one looks interesting. Look at this. Very, very bullish. And I believe we are going to be in a lengthy consolidation phase after this really steep move up. And these sideways consolidations, they can take a long, long time. And I believe maybe at this price level here, around 1,500, once again, very expensive stock. If that's US dollars, I believe it is. Actually, let me just quickly check here on our staging dashboard. 1 second. FICO. Yeah, that's US dollars. Okay. So this could be indeed also an interesting speculative long entry here, speculating that we're going to bounce off this key support level towards the middle in between support and resistance. I'm going to add this one also to our watch list. All right. And you can see how easy it is to find these kind of setups. All right, but moving on, we have another setup which I love to scan for, and you will see today there are some really interesting candidates, which is our zone break retrace setup. So to understand our zone break retrace setup, first we have to understand what is a zone break. So a zone break happens when support is broken to the downside, as you can see it here, or resistance is broken to the upside. You can see this green line was resistance, it's broken to the upside. All right, that's condition number one. Condition number two is we need to see a retracement, a correction down towards the broken resistance level in this case. And I see this as the initial attempt of the market to fake us out. And markets tend to do this down to this broken resistance level, and then things tend to really accelerate to the upside. Because in this case, this resistance level will act as support, and then things will accelerate to the upside afterwards. So how can we find these exact setups? Well, it's actually quite easy. We're going back to our dashboard. Here we go. And we will select under Liquidity IQ Setup, this column here, Zone Break Retrace, this filter. And don't be surprised, because once I do this, you will see right off the gate, we will be narrowing down our 5,100 stocks down to perhaps maybe 20 or 30 stocks. It's a very, very strict filter. So let me do this. I click here and down to only 20 stocks. Wow, only 20 stocks currently fulfill this particular criteria. And here I do the same thing. I like to filter by trend duration, starting with, or sort by trend duration, starting from the stocks which have been trending up for the longest time. All right, so the first one that comes up is this one, Esquire Financial Holdings, bullish for 1,129 trading days. We broke above, you can see it here, we broke above resistance. This level here, back in June 27, went up, and then the correction now to the downside. I believe this stock is going to come down even further. That's at least my feeling. I'm not always right, and often sometimes I miss a good trade, but I think we might come down to this level. If we do, I think this could be a great long opportunity to get into this bullish trend at a much better price. At this point, I guarantee you, also Trend Radar will have a level 3 pullback, which has been the pullback of choice, besides this really deep correction here, for most significant pullbacks of the stock. Look at how far back we have to go to see even a deeper pullback than level 3. Was all the way back here in summer 2024. But besides this, every single level 3 pullback has been very soon bought up. And I think once we come down a bit further here, this could be a really good long entry opportunity. So we're going to add this to our watch list. All right. Our next one is this one, RBC Bearings Incorporated, tools and accessories. All right. Yeah, this one, we are definitely grinding upwards. It's a good uptrend, but I personally don't like this setup too much for the simple reason that this broken resistance level, which is supposed to now act as support, has been penetrated in the past. Back here in mid-June, prices went below this level, then up again. Now we're down here again. I'm not too convinced that this level will hold. I personally potentially see a deeper correction, maybe down to this first MA rush line, and then we can reevaluate. So I'm going to skip this one for now. Exxon Enterprise. Okay, bullish for 664 trading days. And look at this one, is interesting. What do we see here? It's a volatile stock. You can see it. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Actually, I need to point out something else real quick first. Look at this gap here. Huge gap up down here from back here in November 7. I guess this was the aftermath of the election. November 7, then here we open on November 8. Big gap up. And you may have thought, oh my God, this gap is so big, it's never going to get closed. Well, you were wrong. Look at time went by, and eventually we went down all the way to this level. Yeah, closing this gap almost to the T at this point on. Okay, why do I say this? Because I also spotted this one here. Big up gap once again. Then we went higher, and now things are going down again. I mean, if you want to take a shot, I think the setup looks nice for a long entry here, but just be aware we do have this gap in the past. Yeah, all the way down here. Be aware of this gap, because if this level doesn't hold, I mean, you might even go the opposite direction and bet on the fact, hey, we're going to close this gap in the next couple of days. And if we do, I think that price is definitely going to go higher. But maybe if you want to trade this to the long side, scale in a little bit here, but just be aware that if this level doesn't hold, then we may go as well down all the way to fill this gap. All right, but nonetheless, I'm going to add this one to our watch list. All right, and maybe one more, actually two more. Banco Bilbao, Argentina. I know Aubrey is heavily invested in Argentinian stocks. He told me this once. He said South America is where the money is. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Yeah, we did break above resistance at this point. You can see it here. Went up, retraced down to the resistance level. Went up again, down to this broken resistance level, now acting as support. Up again, down to this level. And actually, I like this one quite a bit because here it's the opposite. We have a nice down gap. Prices stopped exactly at this resistance level. And here, if you want to take a shot at it, enter long here and at least bet on the fact that this down gap will eventually be closed. This could be an interesting play that yeah, comes from this particular setup, because here we have this gap, and this gap, might get closed. And if this gap closed, maybe this gap up here will also get closed. So this could be an interesting long setup for that reason. So we're going to add this one as well. And one more, JP Morgan Chase. And this is exactly what I really wanted to say today. It's a super interesting stock with a super interesting setups. So JP Morgan Chase is probably the most dominant bank of the US banks right now, in a long-term uptrend, bullish for 594 trading days. We posted all-time highs. When was it? Or we broke above resistance, I should say, here back in June. Prices went up, all-time highs on July 3rd. Now the retracement down to this level. If by any chance we will see another bit of a retracement on Monday, I think this could be a really interesting stock. Why? Because we also have earnings on Tuesday. So what would this mean? So earnings are coming out, I believe, Tuesday night. Yeah, for sure, Tuesday night after the market is closed. And we may discuss this setup one more time in our lunch and learn session, how we could trade it. Because this is a stock which I personally wouldn't mind having in my portfolio for a longer term. So I'd be happy to take a shot even before earnings. Even if earnings should disappoint, I think this could be an interesting stock to have. And the way I may play it, depending on the market will open on Monday, is by selling puts. For this option, I'm going to collect the premium. If we see a gap after earnings, my put options will lose values very quickly. I'm selling them, so I want them to lose value. I believe they're going to be expensive because we're getting into earnings. So this is already factored in, this increase of volatility. So selling puts could be an interesting idea. If they jump up, probably going to get rid of them, flatten up my position right away with a nice profit. If we gap down, I think I'm just going to wait. If I get assigned, no big deal, because that's a stock which I like to potentially have in my portfolio anyways. So that might be my play for Monday or for Tuesday. We may discuss it in our lunch and learn session. Selling puts for JP Morgan. So I'm going to add this one for sure also to our watch list. And I'm curious, on Tuesday we're going to discuss it. How would you guys play this long setup? That's definitely a long setup. Zone break retrace with a very reputable value stock, JP Morgan. And if you're wondering, are earnings really coming out on Tuesday? Yes, they are. And how do I know this? Well, you can simply see it here in our dashboard. If you enable earnings, this column here, you can see this column right here, the earnings date column, July 15, JP Morgan earnings on Tuesday. All right. So, Nicholas, I think these are the key setups. Do we have any questions so far, or should we quickly go through these setups to see which are the most interesting ones?
Maybe could you take a look at AFL? We had we had a question saying, "Hey, I don't see the bullishness in that chart." Could you explain maybe quickly why you do see it as bullish?
Yeah, so AFL, we picked it out. Long bound. Well, if you don't even look at the chart, I see why you're saying this. Yes, you may say, hey, this chart looks really sideways, maybe even a bit bearish. True, if we only look at this little snippet here. But if we look at our scanner, we can see this symbol has been in an uptrend for 1,131 trading days. This will become apparent once I zoom out a little bit. Look at this. So now you can see that, over time, this stock definitely has been quite bullish. And these phases of sideways consolidation, these are completely normal. Every stock will have it. You can see these sideways phases here and even downwards, and then the overarching trend will pick up. But these are really good opportunities, especially if prices are at the lower end of these consolidation phases too. Put your toe in the water, potentially scale into a position, and then anticipate, yes, this stock will, over time, continue its bullish one. All right, so let's see what did we have. We have 9 symbols here. Let's quickly go through them. I'm going to start with the German telecommunication stock. I really like it. It's a really long-term bullish stock. I'm going to add this one to our watch list here. I want to create a new, so to our trade notes, create a new trade note. Oops, wrong symbol. I'm going to add this symbol right here. So this could be definitely an interesting one for a long entry at these price levels. By the way, let me just quickly do something right now before I continue. I'm going to share this watch list with you. So I'm going to go down here, and please remind me every time to do this. I'm going to go here on this share button, share, and now it's shared with other users. Woo, nice. So you should be able to see this one in your dashboard as soon as you reload your dashboard. So hopefully this will pick up, and let me know if that's indeed the case. Okay, so German telecommunication is an interesting one. Arthur J. Gallagher. Honestly, nothing much has changed since last week. I'm still gonna, put exactly the same setup once again for this week. I think to keep pushing the wrong button. I think this is a great setup. It's a monster of a stock, very reliable. We are now in a consolidation phase. No big deal. I think over time this stock will continue to go up. If you decide to trade Arthur J. Gallagher, just make sure to not also trade Marsh and McLennan at the same time. Both are in the exact same space, insurance brokerages. There's definitely some correlation there. So I would pick one or the other. I personally would pick Arthur J. Gallagher over MMC, but both are definitely interesting candidates. So also this one here, I would wait for a correction down to this second support level at around 207. Once we're there, go long, stop loss just below, and anticipate, hey, this stock might continue its upwards move in the interim. So I'm going to also add this one to our trade notes. There we go. Okay. FLAG we just discussed. So I also like FLAG very much for a long trade. And had we entered here, this I believe was on our radar a bit while back. We could have made some nice profits here. And the idea is not to wait until you go all the way here. These are swing trades. You will book your profits as soon as you get towards the middle in between support and resistance. So this could be also an interesting stock for this. Definitely going to be adding it to our watch list for next week. ESQ Financial Holdings. All right. Yeah, here we're still too far away. I would not enter right now. If we get down to this level, then yes, but I would definitely wait here for prices to come down to this entry level. And then this could be very interesting. So here I would wait on the sidelines and see where we open on Monday and Tuesday. If prices come further down, this could be a really interesting long entry opportunity. Fair Isaac Corporation. I think I'm going to skip this one for the reason of this gap, which, oh, was it? Oh, no, that's not the same one. I still may skip this one for the reason of too much volatility. It's kind of catching a falling knife. Prices really went down very, very quick. We did have a liquidity capture 4 bars ago when we went wick down here, but then prices, are now continuing grinding further downwards. I'm going to skip this one because we may also see a retracement all the way to this level. This is not a risk I want to take, so I'm going to skip that one. Axon Enterprise Inc. Yeah. Zone break retrace, I would also wait here to see if this zone potentially holds, because if not, I think we're going to fill this gap. Here I would wait for that. So I'm going to skip this one too. Banco Bilbao, maybe Aubrey can share your opinion on this particular stock. I know you've been trading South American stocks a lot. This Argentinian, I believe it's an Argentinian stock. Let me just quickly look at our description here. Oh, Bilbao, Spain. Whatever. It sounds Argentinian to me, definitely from the name here. Nonetheless, I do like the setup a lot, and I like the gap that we are seeing right here. And let me just quickly see what's the country of that stock. Where do we have our country? There we go. It is. Yeah, it's indeed Spain. All right. Spanish stock, so I was wrong. Pullback here towards the broken resistance level. I think this could be an interesting long opportunity for at least get this gap fill here, maybe even get all-time highs in the stock. So I'm going to add this one to our watch list, to our trade notes. All right. And last but not least, JP Morgan. I like it a lot. Earnings coming out on Tuesday. Really interesting setup. Probably the bank I want to be involved with if I want to go with a big, large US bank. It's JP Morgan, the Cadillac among the banks. So we're going to add this one here. And we're going to discuss this setup most likely in our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday. Let's see where markets will open for JP Morgan on Monday as we are heading into earnings on Tuesday. All right. This was my review. This should now be shared with you. The trade notes, by the way, the ones I'm putting here in here, these are not yet shared. That's a feature we are working on for the future. So don't be surprised if you don't see the same trade notes. This may come a bit later this year. All right, now let's go through some of the requests.
Yeah, okay. The first one is ENR.DE.
ENR?
Yeah, like
ANR.
ENR, like enter, but just like that .de.
Yeah. Oh, see, almost did the same mistake as sometimes you guys do. Say, hey, this stock doesn't exist. That sucks. But here the reason, of course, is that we are in our watch list. In these setups watch list, I have to switch over to end of day scanner. And with any luck, we have the stock Siemens Energy. I have a friend working for this company here in Montreal. Very bullish. I know this firsthand. Yeah, very bullish. I wish it would retrace a bit further down. I really like this one. We are currently having a level 2 pullback as per trend radar. I like it. If we ever gonna have a level 4 pullback in trend radar, and you can scan for this. You can see this column here. Just a second. Where is it? This column here, the pullback column, you can scan for exactly these setups. If Siemens Energy will get to this level, I would love to get involved with this one. Yeah, very bullish, good stock. I would wait for a bit of a deeper pullback to get involved with it. But yeah, definitely a good
Great.
value.
Yeah, actually, the question attached to that was, is it too late? Should I wait for a deeper pullback? So great answer.
If I mean, if you had my trading personality, you would wait because I rather miss out on a trade than chasing one. But that's just my style. If you want to take a risk, and we are definitely pulling back a little bit from the highs of 99 down to 91. It's definitely a bit of a pullback, level 2 pullback. It's a bit too shallow for me. I'll wait for these level 3 or level 4s. But nonetheless, that's a great stock to get involved in.
And could you please look at Ethereum?
Ethereum, yes.
While you're going, Daniel, when you click the live part of a chart, is that real time?
For some symbols it is, yeah. So let's have a look at Ethereum here. So, wow, interesting, huh? I mean, I guess not interesting. Ethereum is not the same as Bitcoin, so we're really far away from our all-time highs in Ethereum. And look how beautiful we bounced off this resistance level. So these technicals, they work no matter which symbols. Really nice bounce off. Now the zone break here. We broke above this intermediate resistance level. The next one is really far away, so I don't see any problems there. Here now just it's the question whether this break above resistance is going to be sustained. So I would wait a little bit to see if prices are pushing higher. But if Ethereum is following Bitcoin, at least to some degree, then it's not unrealistic to see levels of 3,700 or even 4,000. Maybe Ethereum is the play to go because there we're not so overextended yet. You can see it here. We had a nice move up, but we're not that far away from our averages. So maybe it's perhaps the safer play than Bitcoin, even though I'm personally invested in Bitcoin, so I'll be happy if Bitcoin continues growing. And some people say 150,000 end of this month, beginning of next month is in the picture. Who knows if it's going to be happening, but we're not that far away anymore. Now at 117,000 and 18,000 right now here in Bitcoin. In terms of real-time data on the live chart, it's real-time for FX and cryptos. For stocks, for most stocks, it's 50 minutes delayed, and then for some other stuff, it's just on the daily time frame. It depends on the symbol. But this is based off trading view data. There are some restrictions that come with it.
Thanks, Daniel. And now the next symbol is Lyra, Lyra. And we had a comment. Does it seem to you that the market's much more volatile now than, I guess, last year at the same time?
I don't think it's volatile at all. I think if you look at the VIX, I mean, we can have a quick look at the VIX right now, and then we can look at the symbol. VIX is so low at 16. That's why even with this JP Morgan play, and of course this is the VIX for all the S&P 500 stocks, even with JP Morgan, I have to see what the prices of these option contracts are. I have to see if I want to sell some puts, because you want to sell when volatility is high, but now it's really low. It's 16. Last year, same time, let's see what's last July. It's down here. I guess it is. Oh boy, it's a bit more volatile. Well, down here at 13. Crazy. But yeah, I guess it's from this point of view, we're a little bit more volatile, yet still, I think volatility is low. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. So the symbol was LYRA.
LY, we don't have that symbol. LYRA. Let me see what that is here in trading view.
Sorry, that's a V.
Oh,
LY.
Ah,
Oh, is that the
yes.
German letter?
Nah, it's just me being, I guess. It's just Sunday. Things are a bit more calm. Okay, we actually have it on our dashboard. Bearish for 295 trading days, currently at a support level for quite a few days. It's the support level here. Yeah, but nothing I would trade. Definitely super, super bearish, I guess. And I'm not sure what the question here is, but am I thinking, hey, we're gonna bounce off the support level to higher levels? Maybe. I would never trade it, in my view. And would I trade this to the short side? Also no, because we are right at support. So to me, too erratic. Next symbol. Yeah. All right, Nicholas, are you? Oh, I think we lost Nicholas. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna. Andrea said the sharing watch list
Oh,
feature worked. Nice. Okay.
I was muted, Daniel. I said QUBT, quantum computing, and Lenny wanted to know, can you filter for lower priced stocks, like less than 1,000, for example?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Let's check it out. Let's do QUBT first. Quantum computing. We just got bullish 27 trading days ago. Pulled back a little bit. Now trading in a magnet zone, meaning in between support and resistance. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's also those stocks where things are so erratic. Yeah. So technical analysis, at least the way I look at it, doesn't work that great of stocks that have moves like this. Look at this, from a couple of cents up to $26 down. Yeah, right now in the middle. I would not personally trade this stock. It's more like a gambling stock. Will we see a bigger pullback towards the support level? Possibly. Will we recover right from this level to the upside? Possibly. So yeah, I have no real technical analysis opinion about this stock. Okay, so what was the other question? Price filters. Yes, so we can go add price data to our scanner here. And next to price, we do have a filter button. Let's see what our filter criteria. Yeah, we do. Can filter for stocks below 50. Yeah, just it's always going to be in the currency of that stock. So in this case, and if I do below 50, we see 3,525 stocks qualify, for example, for that criteria. So that's possible.
Thanks, Daniel. The next symbol is ALCC.
ALCC. All right. Like this?
Yeah, it should be called OKLO. OKLO.
ALCC. Oh, let's have a look. This one?
Maybe what's that called? Maybe it's actually the symbol is OKLO, OKLO, and the company's called ALCC. I'm
Okay,
not sure. I'm not sure what the ALCC meant.
yeah, Oklo we do have, but it rings the bell. Right at I didn't even open the chart yet, but just by looking at the scanner here, we can see bullish for 184 trading days, but we are right at resistance right now. This is why it says short bounce here. And if you look at the stock, we can see, yeah, we're trading right at this resistance level. So yeah, I would not buy it to the long side right now, as we may bounce off this level to the to lower levels. I would wait until we get above it and then potentially get into it. Or if you see a pullback, this gap fill here, I have trained my eye to find these gaps very nicely. So this gap might get tested. If we do, prices have to come down all the way to the 40s here, high 30s, and then this could be a nice long opportunity to enter.
Thanks, Daniel. The next one is NVIDIA.
Yes. NVIDIA is very similar to the QQQs. We did all-time highs 2 weeks ago, I believe, and then now we're trading above our resistance level. We broke above resistance. A bit of a retracement here. So that's the zone break retrace. Now higher. Would I get in right now? Probably not. Too expensive. I would wait at the minimum to a pullback, at least a level 2 or 3 pullback on trend radar, ideally down to this broken resistance level, and then potentially go long. But yeah, what a nice recovery it was. I remember we were discussing NVIDIA in our option alerts so many times, and it's been figured as a long-term trade in there. I think every single week now. So if you guys followed a little bit those trades, you would have made a really, really nice gain, because NVIDIA is definitely on a tear.
Thank you. The next symbol is EL.
EL. EL, okay. What is it? A second. Oh, this one. French Estee Lauder company. I guess originally a French company. Bearish for 776 trading days. That's why you don't want to have tunnel vision. If you only look at this little fragment here, you may say, hey, this stock is on a tear to the upside. But long term, this stock's been falling for a long, long time. So bearish for 776 trading days. And this will become clear here. Look where we're coming from. Now pushing higher. But I mean, I would not trade. I don't like trading stocks to the short side, but if you want to give it a shot, wait till prices perhaps come to this broken support level, now acting as resistance, and then bet on the fact that the stock may have another leg further down. But to me, I prefer trading stocks to the upside, not the opposite. But yeah, look at this bearish trend form since 2023. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. And now the next one is Melly, which is apparently South America's Amazon.
Yeah, Mercado Libre. Yeah, I've seen this on my vacations in South America. So, I'm going there every once in a while. Yeah, nice setup. And I believe, does this come from Aubrey? Oh, yeah, it does. I believe we had discussed this one in Cyprus as well. Nice stock. I like it a lot. Right at this, that's actually a really cool one. Aubrey, I like it at this support level. I wonder why it was not picked up by our scanner. Oh, it says long bounce. I guess it didn't go far enough down the list. It is flagged as a long bounce setup, so it was part of our scanner where we looked for bullish stocks which are currently trading at support. So yes, I like it. The only thing which I don't 100% like is this gap here. 1 second. This one. So this gap up, which might get tested. If this one get tested, we're going to go all the way down to this level, maybe the second MA rush line. That's my only reservation against going long right now. But overall, it's a nice stock. Yeah, and this pullback is definitely something encouraging. And I wonder which currency this is. It's probably not US dollar. Let me quickly see. Now down to our other dashboard here. Go to Melly. Oh, it's US. Okay. I guess it is an expensive stock. If that's the actual price. Okay. But yeah, overall the technical setup is nice.
Great. The next one is Team.
Yes. So Team.
It's Atlassian, I think.
Yeah. Who told me this the other day? I think it was I forgot. I had a meeting on Friday with a client. Forgot the name. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he said Atlassian used to be very small, but that was back in the day. We talked about, how companies have evolved over time and scaled up from a very, very small company to a really big company. And Atlassian was one of the examples he's given. But that was a long time ago, many, many years ago. So now from a technical point of view, Lars, that was his name. Okay, what do we see here? Magnet zone in between support and resistance, a bit closer to support down here. Overall, we are bullish, and this could be potentially a nice long setup. I don't like the fact that the stock seems to be alternating quite a bit between bullish and bearish. You can see it here. And if you scroll further back, I believe we're coming from much higher regions. Yeah, not the stock I would trade because of the technical setup. I don't know much about the company besides the fact that they do create nice software products. Not sure how profitable they are, as so many things are now like open source and so forth. But yeah, if you want to give it a shot, maybe wait till prices come down to the support level to go long here.
Thanks, Daniel. The next one's Fortinet.
FTNT. All right, bullish for 357 trading is level 4 pullback, currently in between support and resistance. Let's have a look. I guess all-time highs here back in February. Now we are in a corrective phase. I would wait for prices to come down further down. These corrective phases, they can take a long, long time to resolve. I mean, if it was me, I would wait for a pullback at least to this MA rush line, or maybe down to support here and then go long. Because I think this is going to be alternating for quite a bit.
Great. Okay, we have another comment. Let me just check it out. Okay, just a comment from Aubrey saying he bought into an Ethereum ETF. Then we have another symbol, PayPal. And while you're checking out PayPal, please, Daniel, a user wants to know, how does the software decide when there's a liquidity capture? And we recommend check the link for our bootcamp in the chat. It's got all these answers.
Yeah, that too. And let me just quickly look at PayPal here. What's going on? It's too also a stock I would not get involved with. Look where we're coming from. Big downtrend. I don't like the short stocks. Now we're at resistance here. I mean, if you want to give it a shot, even though we switched to bullish here, maybe to the short side, play a short play here that we may approach this support level down here. But overall, stock I would not trade. Now for the liquidity captures, let's just have a look. So look at this one here. We did have a couple of liquidity captures here. And if I switch on the label, 1 second, this one here. Okay, and you can see, it's being pointed out here, but I believe once I hover over it, I wonder what happened to our hover. This used to work. I'm going to take a note of this. Nicholas, maybe remind me after the webinar. This used to be called out as a hover, as a tooltip when you hover over it. Maybe we took it away accidentally. So this is a liquidity capture, this shaded area here. And basically that's the bar which wicks into a resistance level and has abnormally high volume. And the interpretation is a bit agnostic, as Nicholas would call it. But one of our interpretations is that, hey, something is up and potentially a lot of sellers at this point are stepping in, driving price further down, and don't allow price to break this resistance level. So we see this as extra confirmation that, hey, we will indeed see a bounce off this level rather than a break above the level. And the cool thing is now, as scanner, you can actually scan for liquidity captures. So what you can do, real quick, let me just hide some of these columns here with this one and the country. And then you will enable this column here called liquidity capture, this one. All right, it's right here. And you can say, okay, I want to find a stock which currently has liquidity capture at support. All right, so you go in here to the filter and select support. And now you can see all the stocks which had in the past a liquidity capture at support. But some of these are not so interesting. For example, this one, let's say this one here, Aeon. Here the liquidity capture happened 11 bars ago. Like here, if you count these bars, that's a long time ago. Or this one, 64 bars ago, Apple. Not so interesting. So we want to find stocks where this liquidity capture happened recently. So what you can do, you can enable a second filter just below and perhaps say, okay, I want to see stocks where the liquidity capture happened at the last bar, at the current bar. It's like this one here, we're down to only 115 stocks. If you put on a bold filter at 2, you can see we're down to 30. And the first one that comes up here is Ago. Yeah, Ago is currently, I wonder if we discussed this one on our list, currently at a support level, and we have liquidity capture. I think we didn't discuss the stock, but my opinion about this one is not my favorite setup despite the liquidity capture here, because this support level clearly is an intermediate support level. The real one is down here. So I rather wait for price to come all the way down here, and then I'd like to go long. So for this reason, I didn't like it that much. But yeah, that's what liquidity capture is. A bar with abnormally high volume near a support or near a resistance level.
Thank you. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah. Okay, so we have one comment. Gerald said, reloaded the dashboard. Don't see today's watch list. Maybe try logging out and logging back in, and it should be at the top of your scanner under shared watch list. But please send us an email if that doesn't work even after.
Or just reload it here. Yeah, that could also do the trick. I know at least one user is able to see it.
Perfect. Okay, and then coming down. Okay, we already looked at NVIDIA. We have a question. Okay, Arthur says he looked at the bootcamp, didn't really get what liquidity captures are, and doesn't understand why there's 4 squares at a liquidity capture. So each square is representative of one liquidity capture. One can happen per bar. It's a big hash tag looking square that appears. So like right there, there's many overlapping, and sometimes there's just one. If that's confusing, each rectangle is a liquidity capture, gets more dense as more happen in succession. And we have a last symbol request here, if we have time, Daniel, for a nuclear ETF, NLR. Seems to be bouncing. What do you think of a long trade?
NLR. Okay, let me look at this one in trading view here. And by the way, guys, if you have any symbols to be added to the dashboard, I'd be happy to do it. Just let me know which symbols these are. So here we are on the daily time frame on trading view. Yeah, we broke above resistance. Can see it here back in May. Then a little move up, then the retracement down to the broken resistance level, and then another push higher. Now we're consolidating once again. Yeah, I like the. Let me see where are we coming from. Yeah, it's definitely a bullish symbol, which is nice. I like the fact that we do have a pullback right now. You can see prices pulled back a little bit from these historic highs. And yeah, this could be an interesting opportunity. I personally would wait for maybe another attempt to retrace down to this broken level and then enter long. Still a bit too expensive for me. Still a bit too far away from these moving averages for my taste, but that's just the way I would trade it. And I also like to see stocks where the switch to bullish didn't happen so recently. So this happened maybe, I don't know, 30 bars ago. It's a bit too fresh for me. So I'd like to see this bullish trend to be more established.
Thanks, Daniel. Okay, and we have one question here. Okay, it's actually from Lenny. He says, he just has a theory about USO at the top of the channel before prices drop. It was kind of right when the Iran issues started. Yeah, I mean, and he says, it's a theory that maybe they thought it was a good day to ride out the news to force prices to collapse for lower entries. I mean, it could also just be a fundamental reaction because Iran produces so much oil if there's trouble. But
okay, and then I see a question here from who was it? From Andrea about the cost of the dashboard. Yeah, go to tradingindicators.com/view to find out all about it. Trading indicators. I can type properly.com/view. This will bring you to our Liquidity View page, and you can see that we do have we're always posting the latest video recording on this page, and you can also find out that what the pricing are. We get 1 week for free, as I mentioned. Then our monthly cost at 97 and yearly ones at 997. All right.
Thanks. We have requests for a symbol to be added, Galaxy Digital.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a note of this, Niklas. I'll pass this on to our development team afterwards. Perfect.
And a question here, Daniel. If JPM has good earnings, do you think it'll lift the sector? Is PayPal independent of the sector?
I don't know. I definitely PayPal in comparison to these big banks. I think it's probably a smaller player. That's what my feeling would say. We can actually look what the market cap of PayPal is versus JP Morgan. It's probably a big difference. I might be wrong, but let's just check. So JPM, what's the market cap for JPM? And of course, this is stock market cap, so it may not be as significant, but let's just have a quick look. Oops. Here. 797 billion. And what about PayPal? 69 billion. Yeah, it's magnitude of 10 less. So I believe PayPal probably would be a small player compared to the big banks in the US. And definitely JPM can be a driver for the whole financial sector. Absolutely. So I would imagine so. So if they post good earnings, I think every bank, the major banks, will benefit from that as well, or will see a boost because of the sector going up at the same time.
And Lenny wants to know, what's the volume indicator you have on your trading view chart?
Oh, this is our volume IQ indicator. We have it currently only as a standalone indicator for TradingView, NinjaTrader, and MotiveWave. You can find it on our homepage too. If you want to see more information about it, go to tradingindicators.com. There we go. And you can then see this indicator listed here. So this is for our dashboard. This is for the individual volume indicator called Volume IQ. And it basically shows you a volume profile on the right-hand side, from which you can learn where is the zone of control, where are some lower volume nodes, what is there a buy versus a sell bias in certain price regions, what's the overall momentum bias towards bullish and bearish, and so forth. We also have a full masterclass on this indicator. And it's not part of our dashboard yet. We may be adding it at some point in the future. That's a really complicated one to be added. That's why it's not there yet. But this may come in the future. But meanwhile, you can have it for the individual TradingView platform. And it's one of the 3 indicators which are always in our charts. So Volume IQ is always in our charts. Liquidity IQ is always in our charts. And also MA Rush is always in our charts. All right. Perfect. Yeah, and Lenny says PayPal is in a different sector. Yeah, I agree. And even if it was in the same sector, I think it's probably in a more of a smaller player in that field. All right, perfect. With this, guys, I think we got till the end. If I forgot a question, let me quickly bring up my slides again. Actually, before I do, don't forget about our Great Wealth 365 conference starting next week. If you haven't registered yet, tradingindicators.com/wealth. This link is in the chat. It's completely free. And if we forgot any questions, please reach out to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to the main menu, click on contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will get straight to my inbox once you submit it, and we make sure to answer every single question. With this, guys, I wish you a great Sunday. If you are on our options alert service, you can expect the option alerts in a couple of hours. That's the next thing I'm going to be working on together with the option professor. And otherwise, I see you all on, when is it? On Tuesday for our next Lunch and Learn session. I'm really excited to discuss this JPM, this JP Morgan trade review. So if you have any ideas of how you would trade it, I'd be so happy to see maybe an email from you suggesting, hey, this is how I would do it. And I'm going to share with you how I will do it. And maybe we can have some nice interaction discussion on this topic. All right. With this, guys, have a great weekend. Thanks, Nicholas, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.